Welcome to another episode of Mythic Drafting, where today we're doing another Lord of the Rings draft here. Pretty interesting first pack. We've got a Frodo, which I don't really want to take as it's just a white-black dual card essentially. There's a Book of Mazarbul in red, which is a pretty nice one. There's also a Bilbo Retired Burglar here, which is a sweet blue-red card. And then in black, I think Mortal Master is probably the best card here. There's also an Oliphant if you want to stay open and go to red, but I think the pick is probably, if you're drafting for success, between Book of Mazarbul and Mortal Master here. And I think I would probably take the Master just because it's the most efficient card. It gives you a card and a mass body. I think Bilbo's also a pick if you want to just go straight into blue-red spells here. Something I haven't actually done a whole lot of yet. And I think I would normally just take Mortal Master and go into black here, but I think, given the point we're at in the format, it's probably a little bit more fun to just go for the blue-red spells deck here. And now I've got a lot of good options here. There's a Torment of Gollum, which we would just take if we had taken the Mortal Master. But now I've got to pick between, we're not taking Bill Ferny, but Birthday Escape, Glorious Gale, and Lorien Revealed. And this really comes down to preference, I think. But for the blue-red spells deck, I think Birthday Escape is the best card. 1 mana spell draws a card, the ring tempts you. It's really good in a ring tempts blue-red deck or a blue-red spells deck. I think next is Lorien Revealed is better than Glorious Gale, and I'd probably take that one next. But yeah, we're just going to take a Birthday Escape here and hope one of those two comes back on the wheel here. Now I've got an interesting pick here between, there's the Great Hall of the Citadel. There's not really anything for us in blue-red. I don't think Hugh the Entwood is particularly playable in that deck. There's an Oath of the Grey Host, and there's a Troll of Khazad-dûm here. I think, given our start, Troll is potentially just the better pick over the Oath, because while Oath is probably the stronger card, Troll is a better splash. It enables splashing and just keeps us more open and more flexible. So yeah, we're going to pick up the Troll of Khazad-dûm here. And now we get a pretty sweet reward here and a good sign about red. The Foray of Orcs should not be here. Pick number 4. There's just, 2 uncommons have been taken and a rare, so maybe it's justifiable, but I can't think of many packs where it should still be here. There's also a Glorious Gale, Swarming of Moria, which is nice, and there's a Sam's Desperate Rescue as well as an Inherited Envelope. But yeah, we're just going to pick up Foray of Orcs and be very, very happy with that there. And now we're wishing we just played the safe draft option here and went the Mortal Master, because we would have gone Mortal Master into Torment of Gollum, Troll of Khazad-dûm, Foray of Orcs, and an Easterling Vanguard here. But the pick here is really between the Vanguard. I think the Breaking of the Fellowship is fine, and the Treason of Isengard. I think Breaking of the Fellowship is pretty replaceable level, and Easterling Vanguard is just a solid card. And if black is open, we really should jump in here. So I'm going to hedge our bets a little bit and pick up the Easterling Vanguard here and just see what sort of flows through next. Now there's a pretty interesting signal here, and Generous Ent is here. Pick in this late. I don't know how we can necessarily pivot into green like we could pivot into green-black, splashing everything, but I think the more likely pick is that we just take a Great Hall of the Citadel, and this will enable us to move into a multicolored deck if that is where we should end up being. Now we're seeing a Many Partings Inherited Envelope for that multicolored deck, but there's a Treason of Isengard and there's an Arwen's Gift. I think I'm just going to take Arwen's Gift here. I think this is the better card in the blue deck. If you've got a lot of Ring Tempts You and you've already got some Legends, it's pretty consistent to have this turned on, and scrying 2 and drawing 2 cards is just really nice. So yeah, this draft has definitely been interesting. I think this shows why you don't first pick multicolored cards, but we're actively trying to do something different. Our deck would look very, very nice. We'd have a great pile if we were just drafting for wins here and we had started black. But yeah, we'll see how this one pans out. This pile's still fine if we just cut the Easterling Vanguard. We're still in a decent spot here to play blue-red. Now it's actually a pretty interesting pick because there is the second Great Hall of the Citadel, so we can go down the Legends path here. or we can take an Isolation at Orthanc. I think given where we've started, like we could easily cut these 2 blue cards, be black-red, and play Bilbo and be like a black-red Legends deck. Seems a lot more fun. Let's draft for the upside here, and let's take a Great Hall of the Citadel. Now, this is that pack that had the Glorious Scale and the Lorien Revealed. They've both been taken, which is important to note. So we're going to pick up a Haunt of the Dead Marshes here and leave ourselves open here to being that black-red deck that we just talked about and playing the Legends. We could take a Lotho, but I think Lotho is pretty mediocre. So I think we'll just pick up a Nasty End here, which goes well with Haunt. It goes well with the Easterling Vanguard. It also goes really well with the Ring Tempts You. The other option as well, I mean, we can always be a blue-black deck as well that, you know, if we get some Pelagia Survivors, we can cast 4 Airvorks. We can also use the Great Hall of the Citadel to cast Bilbo, but certainly given how much stronger 4 Airvorks is than Birthday Escape, my current thinking is we would prefer to be red here than blue. Now there's a Friendly Rivalry, and there's still a Hugh the Entwoods. This card's just not playable. There's a Friendly Rivalry, though. I think we're just going to take the Rivalry. It's the highest upside card here. It's just a very, very strong card, and it's something, you know, we could potentially... I don't think we're going to play it, but I think it's the most likely, like the card that we're most likely to play. Treason of Isengard isn't the worst card there, but wow, I'm glad... Our deck would have been really nice if we just been in black-red from the start, but Orcish Bowmasters, this is my first time opening this card. The Bowmasters is very good. Maybe it's my second time actually opening this one, but yeah, Torment of Golem, Smite the Deathless in the pack, but there's nothing we're taking over the Bowmasters here. This is just a great one. We're definitely playing black now, and we've just got to work out what the colours around it will be. Worth noting, there's a Menador. This is a pretty deep pack. There's Samwise, Menador, Frodo, Isolation, Worst Pathfinder, Torment, Smite. So there's a lot of stuff here. We could wheel something, but it's pretty unlikely we'll get anything that we really want back there. Okay, so now there's a Barad-dûr, which is actually like a... I actually quite like this card in black. I think the fact that it effectively means in the late game you can just keep recurring your armies and make them bigger and bigger is a pretty nice thing to get from the land slot. And like, I don't actually think, like, while Gluck is fine, it's not amazing. I do like Sam's Desperate Rescue and like Pelagia Survivor, but I think we want a little bit more information before we move down those paths. And I think that Barad-dûr is always going to be good in this deck and is worth taking here. And now we're pretty solidified. I mean, there's a Glorious Scale, but Smite the Deathless is just going to seal the deal for us at this point. I think it's pretty unlikely that we're playing these blue cards. And yeah, we're absolutely punished, but we should have just been in black-red from the start. But that's the lesson you learn. And if you're watching this video, I mean, it just shows you that you should really just draft the monocolored cards to start with and not mess around with them the way I did. But yeah, I mean, this deck still looks fine. We've still got some options. I don't think we're playing Friendly Rivalry here, but you never know. So we'll just keep it in the pile for now. I mean, now that this pack's stacked as well, there's a Rally, there's a Grishnak, Improvised Club, and Shelob's Ambush are all very nice cards in this deck, but we are going to be taking Grishnak here. The Amass, the Steel, everything about this card is really nice. If you can find any sacrifice effects, which we've already got with Nasty End, you can actually do a little combo with that as well. So yeah, Grishnak's a really nice pickup. It's also a legend, so Great Hall of the Citadel can cast it. I think it's likely that we're going to play the Bilbo, and now I think we're also probably going to play Saruman here. Saruman's a strong card. We can potentially run one Inherited Envelope to get us there as well, and can actually run like a nice little Grixis Brew here. I mean, there's also the possibility that we still end up being blue-black, depending on what is flowing here and what is open, because nothing is open in black-red here. I mean, there's a Treason of Isengard and a Mordor Trebuchet, but I don't think Mordor Trebuchet is particularly good. don't think we're playing Friendly Rivalry here. I mean, we will just leave it in the pile for now, I guess. But we don't really need a Treason of Isengard. We don't need a Stone of Etrecht. I think we just take a Mortal Trebuchet, but it's very unlikely that we play it. So we put that straight in the sideboard. I mean, now Galadriel. Do we have any Scry is the question here. So we've got a Haunt. Nothing else scries except for Arwen's Gift. The reason I'm considering it is we've got the 2 Great Halls of the Citadel. Sereth Ungol Patrol is pretty replaceable. And this is also really nice with the Ring Tempts You. I think let's just actually take Galadriel, because Galadriel's kind of an engine herself. And now I think we just take a Birthday Escape here. I mean, we could just be blue-black, splashing the red here. 2 of our red cards are legends. Can use Galadriel. Yeah, I think potentially here we're looking at going into more of a legends deck here. And now we can take a Meneldur. Meneldur is nice with Grishnak. It's nice with Bowmasters. It's also nice with Bilbo, and it works well with our Great Halls of the Citadel here. And now I think we pick up a Pelagia Survivor, and now I think we're actually doing it here. Friendly Rivalry as well. I mean, we could, I don't think we're going to play those, but a Generous Ent's actually a nice one as well, because now we can run one Forest also, and for the Galadriel, and potentially even the Friendly Rivalries here. So there's a fair bit to think about. I don't think we're playing these Friendly Rivalries, but yeah, this deck's turning out to be a pretty spicy one. Certainly an interesting one to navigate. Certainly a lot of different ways we could go. It's still go at this point, but yeah, I think I like the way this one's shaping up. Now I think we're just going to take an Oath of the Grey Host here. We could take a Glorious Gale, but Oath of the Grey Host seems sweet in this sort of more controlling deck. The treasure token is actually very relevant for us as well. And I think, yeah, that's going to be the pick here. So let's go ahead and pick that one up. And now, wow, we get an Eomer of the Riddermark second pick. That is fantastic. I love the Lorien Revealed, but Eomer of the Riddermark is one of the better cards in the set. Again, we have the Great Halls of the Citadel. The mana will be interesting with this deck, but I mean, maybe actually we're still meant to just be black-red, because all of these legends are blue here, and one Great Hall can cast the Galadriel. I mean, maybe we're just meant to cut Galadriel here, but we'll have to see how this one plays out. We could still just be black-red, but then we lose all these great blue cards. 4 I have Orcs to Smite the Deathless. It's going to be interesting, because Pelagia Survivor is a good option here to splash as well. But now I think this pick's pretty easy. We could take an Inherited Envelope. We could take Glorious Gale or Arwen's Gift, but I think we just want the Ring Tempts. We've got a lot of tempting, and we know we're going to be playing black, and so that's a nice one to pick up here just for the curve. So now, another interesting pick here. There's an Improvised Club, which is good with all of our token makers, but it does require us to sort of go back into black-red. There's a Sereth Ungol Patrol, which I don't particularly want to play in this version of the deck. And then there's a Theoden, King of Rohan here, which we could play with the 2 here. But I think we're just going to take an Improvised Club here. Kind of splitting between blue and black here. But now the Pelagia Survivor. I think what we're going to do is we're going to play the blue-black base and then use the Pelagia Survivor as the Inherited Envelope and however many mountains we need to play to sort of build the mana base out. And similarly, we're going to pick up a Deceive the Messenger here. I think we can cut the Treason of Isengard, but we don't have the payoffs for the spells, but I think that this is just going to be a pretty, like, Arwen's Gift's a solid card, Birthday Escape is solid, Deceive is solid, and then in terms of our red spells that we have a Smite, a Foray, and a Improvised Club, and now Oliphant as well, so I've got all the splashes here. I actually think we just cut this Generous Ent, and we don't want to play one of those. I think if we're going to play anything here, it's another Deceive the Messenger here, but I think we're probably cutting that one. And Sereth Ungol Patrol, is pretty good with all these little creatures, but I think it's the only card we're likely to play here. So this is 24. Wow, Lorien Revealed is fantastic for us here. That's just a great pickup. As is a Glorious Gale, actually. That's another really nice one. So this has really come together quite nicely, I think. This is going to be an interesting mana base to build out here, but pretty happy with the way this draft has gone. Let me know in the comments how you think the draft went and if you would have done anything differently. I think a lot of people would have. Certainly, I don't think we get here if we don't first pick Bilbo, but it's a lot more interesting and a lot more fun. So I'm glad we did, but our deck would have been pretty nice no matter which way we went, given the seat we were in. So this is 26 cards plus 3 lands. We've got 3 land cyclers, an inherited envelope, 2 birthday escapes, and a haunt, as well as 2 of these. This deck has 10 instants and sorceries, so the mana is going to be interesting to build out here. We can cut this forest to start with. That's 16 land. The question is, do we want a Glorious Gale in this deck? I think we do. It's another way to tempt. It's another way to use Pelagia Survivor, and in the late game, I quite like having them to hold up if you've got the mana. What are our cuts? So we can cut Galadriel. Whenever you scry, you can reveal the top whenever the ring tempts you. So the things we've got to think about are what tempting do we have? We have 2 here, 3, then 4 here, 5, 6. 6 temptings here. I think that's actually quite enough to play Galadriel, considering this happens twice. Menaldor can also use it with Uruk-hai Berserker and Bilbo to restart them. Arwen's Gift, I think we want one. I think we can actually cut an Arwen's Gift here. We've got a lot of legends. I think given we've got... I think it's a little bit potentially... It's quite good with Saruman. I think we want that. I think we want to cut... This is 6, 9, 10, 16 land here at the moment. Plus 1 of these, plus 2 of these. This is 19 land sources. I think we actually cut a land here. I think we can probably cut... Don't really want to cut any of... So we have 1, 2, 3 sources here. I think we can cut a mountain here. And then we just need to cut 1 card. Nasty End seems a little bit worse than Arwen's Gift in this deck. So I think that's probably going to be the cut. And then in terms of the mana, I think we do need more blue. Our red is 1, 2, 3 legends, 3 spells that we can cast, and then that gives us 6 sources for the spells. It gives us 6 sources for the legends plus a 7th, so that's fine. The black, we have 4 sources, 5 sources. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we probably need more black here. I think we can actually go down a mountain and go up a swamp, and probably go down an island and up a mountain as well. Although we do need the islands here. So I think actually we run 2 mountains. All these cards are fine in the late game as well. And so given the alternative ways we have to cast them, I think that's better. So we have 8, 9, 15 land, plus these 3 sources, plus an inherited envelope, haunt, and double birthday escape. Alright, this is certainly a brew, but alrighty, coming into game number 1 here. This hand's going to be a keep. And just before we get into it, I actually decided just before getting into this game to take Galadriel out and brought back in the Nasty End. So I think that's probably the right decision there. It's just a little bit risky. Basically, the only way we cast Galadriel is if we draw Great Hall of the Citadel. So yeah, up against black-green here, we're going to just ship the turn here and probably just cycle the Oliphant and then make a call about whether or not we cycle Troll of Khazad-dûm. We can do that next turn because we can improvise club and still cycle Troll if we need to. So now I can just go ahead and cycle the Oliphant and get one of our 2 mountains here, which is pretty nice, and then set up decently. Birthday Escape double is nice with Horn of the Dead Marshes. Opponent is ramping up here. You know, we're going to hope to be able to like improvise club, 4 Airvorks. Here, Pelagic Survivor is an awkward one. We'll probably be cycling the Troll of Khazad-dûm on end step here, but we can just make a decision. Do need to draw an island at some point here. Not too worried about the Pelagic Survivor here. We can actually just go to our turn. That's a really nice draw here because we could 4 Airvorks here. I think actually we still can. We can just bash in with Horn of the Dead Marshes here. If they choose to block, then we can ping it. Now they forest cycle, okay. And now we just hit them. I think we just play Pelagic Survivor here. Again, we can improvise club on their end step, and now with Pelagic Survivor, we can actually Birthday Escape and 4 Airvorks in the same turn, which is pretty nice. We're going to be able to take something down on their end step here. Look like we're up against a similar blue-black Pelagic Survivor brew. Ungol Patrol is obviously a decent one because we can't actually kill that with the improvised club. So now we're just going to have to ship to our turn. I think we can Pelagic Survivor here and Birthday Escape. We just want to start cycling these. Horn of the Dead Marshes can be our ring bearer for this one. Playing the land. And now I think we can just, again, bash in. Probably should have Birthday Escaped there, but I think we also want to save this to give the ring temps to our own Pelagic Survivor here. And now that's actually works out pretty nicely for us because now we get to 4A of Orcs here. Snipe down the Survivor. And then Birthday Escape to make our Orc the ring bearer. Menaldor is also pretty good one here. Ooh, the Mouth of Sauron. So going to get a couple here because we've got 3 in the bin. I get the 4th one there, so that's pretty brutal for us here. So that's a nice draw here because now let's just, first of all, we'll start off by attacking. Get to loot. Arwen's Gift is going to be better than Pelagic Survivor here. So go ahead and go to damage. And now the decision is, do we want to play Menaldor? And Menaldor will allow us to Arwen's Gift, or do we just want to play the Troll of Khazad-dûm? I think playing the Menaldor the Troll is going to allow us to this is an interesting one. Could actually play Menaldor and then play Arwen's Gift. We're taking a fair bit of damage on the backswing though, so I think it's a little bit too much damage. We actually just need to get Troll down. I mean, we could Menaldor and then Arwen's Gift, but it just seems a bit slow. The Mouth of Sauron here, I mean, a 3/4 and a 4/4 is just absurdly good value. The other option there as well was to Menaldor and then snipe down one of the armies here, but I think we kind of need to get, that's also what I was worried about, was that they would just have a removal spell there, which is definitely a plus for just... So now we're not going to block this turn because what we can do next turn is actually chump the single Sirith Ungol Patrol and then sack and kill there. So Orcish Bowmasters is pretty nice because we can... Yeah, so I think we want to just start off by bashing here. Get a loot in. Okay, Grishnak. So Grishnak is interesting. I think we want to pitch Arwen's Gift here. Because the cards aren't going to matter. So we've got a damage. And now we can actually Grishnak, Orcish Bowmasters. The Grishnak doesn't actually do a whole lot for us here. The Meneldaur does. Because Meneldaur... I think we actually want to just Meneldaur... Get the Meneldaur down. And then we can Grishnak next turn. Yes, I think we Meneldaur and then we're going to block using Pelagic Survivor. Block that here, take 3 off the Mouth of Sauron. So tap that, okay. Opponent, yeah, I think opponent actually misplayed. I think they meant to it. No, they didn't necessarily. So now we just block the Ungol Patrol and snipe down the 4/4 here. Because, yeah, okay. So this is going to snipe down the 4/4. And we sack the Pelagic Survivor. And now Grishnak and maybe Orcish Bowmasters can get us through this. It's unlikely. Oh, so Orcish Medicine. Okay. That's just good game. Pretty sweet little game there. Very, very intricate, but yeah, not going to be enough to get the job done on that one. Bit unfortunate, but let's see if we can bounce back in the next one. Alrighty, so this is a pretty decent hand here. Definitely going to keep this one. We've got Glorious Gale into Meneldaur. And we've got the lands that we need as well for this hand, so that's nice. And Lorraine Revealed as well is a sweet one for when we eventually get to that mana level. And now we're just going to take down the Ithilien Kingfisher here. This is a nice way to deal with it. Pelagic Survivor also actually a pretty good one here in that we can actually use it to just cast Lorraine Revealed next turn. It also is going to enable all of our red spells here. So another Kingfisher from the opponent. We could get Meneldaur down this turn, but I think it's actually just more mana efficient here to just go ahead and draw 3. And now we get, Easterling Vanguard, Uruk-hai Berserker. We can play out Saruman the White next turn, and then we can actually Saruman the White, and then we can Deceive the Messenger if we want to just amass 3. I think that's pretty good here. We're going to get to amass Orcs 2, and now we get to just amass the next Orc as well, and that's going to really hopefully turn the tide for us in that we can block the 3/3 here, and we're also going to have a pretty big swing back when we go Uruk-hai Berserker, Easterling Vanguard, amass 2 again, crack back at you. Okay, so they can snipe down. They can target. They can't target Saruman, but they can target. So they're actually beating down as well here, but they're gonna have. We're gonna have to double block next turn. So we really need a. Yeah, I think we just need to go Easterling Vanguard, Uruk-hai Berserker here. These two can double block. Our Ring Bearer will be... I think we just want it to be Pelagic Survivor here. And then we just bash in with both here. We can double block if we need to. So yeah, I think we want to probably just double block with these two here. When it will load through. The reason for doing that is it's going to pump up our we're going to get a 3/3, and we're going to have some... Okay, so just want to make sure this has actually gone through. Yeah. So those are the 2 blockers. That lines up. They're probably going to have a removal spell here. There's no point triple blocking though, because yeah, like now I Smite the Deathless, that's fine, but we've still got the 2/2 out of it, so can also just chump with Pelagius Survivor next turn. And hopefully, if we draw a mountain here, the Eomer of the Riddermark will be really nice too on this board. Although Eomer will be. This is still a 5/5, so Eomer will get there. So we're just having a server problem. I'll just pause this quickly and come back when it's finished. Alrighty, and now it's our turn. Okay, so we drew the mountain we needed. That's good. Back from the server issue, we can actually Grixis this turn if we want. I wonder if we have lethal here. We can go Metal Door and Grixis, and then that'll be a 6/6 plus 5. Yeah, we actually have lethal here. So we go Metal Door here. If they counter that, that's actually good for us. Yeah, okay. So now we get to Grixis them. And Grixis is... We're going to amass 2 here. We're going to amass 2 again. And then we could steal their army. And just attack with everyone except for the 1/3. And that's Grixis. Smash them down to 0. Pretty sweet way to win that one. The mountain off the top was nice. A little bit clunky because of the server issue there, but hope you enjoyed that game, and we'll see you for game number 3. Alrighty, back for game number 3. Pretty interesting hand here. Deceive the Messenger, Arwen's Gift, and Oliphant. I actually think that this hand is a mulligan. It just doesn't really do anything. This hand is going to be a keep here. And we're going to get rid of Improvised Club. If we draw a mountain, then Bilbo and Smite are great, and Oath will hopefully allow us to cast Bilbo and then cast this. But yeah, Improvised Club is just the weakest card out of those options, and we just got to hope that Orcish Bowmasters can ride us to victory here. Pelagius Survivor is also a nice one because it enables us to cast Smite the Deathless. So potentially next turn we'll be able to go Pelagius Survivor, and then if we draw 1 land, we'll be able to Smite and Orcish Bowmasters on the same turn. It also depends. Like if they play an X1 here, I don't know, if they play something we can just kill with Orcish Bowmasters, then I think we will just do it. So Orcish Bowmasters, pretty ridiculous card here. We get to snipe and we get 2 X1s. 2 1/1s, sorry, and then this still sticks around and ruins all of their, all of their spells there. So now we get to Pelagius Survivor and attack with the 1/1. Obviously, it would have been great if it had stuck around, but we're 1 land off Oath here, which will enable us to cast Bilbo. So we just get in here. Gandalf, Friend of the Shire. So the Gandalf gets to eat the 1/1 here. That's actually fine. And we get to Oath of the Grey Host. And now we're pretty set to cast Bilbo. We can also cast Smite the Deathless in the same turn, or just play another Pelagius Survivor here. Obviously, I would prefer that they didn't just eat our 1/1, but it's not the end of the world here. So Gandalf's going to get in. We're going to get a treasure token here and draw a card. And I think we just want a Bilbo and Pelagius Survivor here. So I'm going to go land, cast Bilbo. Actually shouldn't have played that land because we probably want to cycle it. Eventually when Bilbo dies. We want Bilbo to be our ring bearer. And then we just want to get in with Pelagius Survivor, given that we're casting another one. So Smoothing of Smeagol. Okay, I'm happy with that. Oh no, they get to draw a card. Okay, that's sweet for them. I mean, it's not the worst. Like, they traded 2 mana to give this, to effectively cycle it. And we just get to replay Pelagia Survivor, and they can't even really attack into our board because we've got 2 1/3s, which do a great job of blocking the 1/1s in this format. And we're going to get 3 1/1. Whoa, Storm of Saruman now. Okay, so they're going to get to, whenever they cast their second spell each turn, they get to make a copy of it. And now we get to attack with Bilbo, which is going to make a treasure. And then we can just cast out all of our spells here. Get a treasure, cast Easterling Vanguard. We just want to get everyone down. We're going to try and put pressure on them and close the game out through the air. And Pelagia Survivor comes down as well. So now we've just got Smite the Deathless, but that's going to be good. And they've got... They get to copy every second spell they cast. So, okay, Sauron's Ransom. Going to be pretty nice here. I think we want to give them... I think we want to try and duke them out a little bit here. I think we get them Wizards, Rockets, and Lembas. Because when it enters the battlefield, they draw a card. They get to make 2 Lembas. Either way, they're going to get to draw 2 cards. I think it's better to try and duke them into taking the second pile here and taking the Lembas as opposed to the Wizards Rockets here. It's a little bit tough. Like, obviously, them getting to either way of those, they get 2 artifacts there that are going to draw them into more cards to start copying. So we're going to have to try and close this game out very quickly if we want to win. Can't stand how Arena does this red screen. Like, you take more than 30 seconds to think about something and it just pops in. But now they've got the Wizards, Rockets, and the Breaking of the Fellowship. So if they want, they can like snipe down a couple of... They get to draw another card off. Wow, Gandalf is just popping off for them. That deck is sweet. This is a really, really cool brew when you see it. Oh, and 4A of Orcs. So they get to copy the 4A. They're going to get to take down a flyer. They can take down Bilbo as well. Although maybe they shouldn't take down Bilbo because when it leaves, we get to tempt. I think they probably will though. Yeah. No, they're going to take down Pelagia Survivor here. We should have actually smite the Deathless, the 2/2 there before, but I think it's actually okay as well to just hold it here. So this is only their second spell each turn. Okay. So now I have a Saruman the White. That's actually interesting here. I think we want to just bash with the team here and tempt them into blocking. Because this works out quite well for us, I think. Because we get to Saruman and then... The only problem with that is that they can use Saruman with Breaking the Fellowship. So, got a 1/1 here. And now we get to Saruman the White. Smite the Deathless. The 4/2 here. Obviously not great because we don't get to... We're going to have the ring Tempsum next turn, but I think this is sort of our only line to try to close this one out. It's going to be pretty tough for us though, without drawing like Eomer or something. I think Eomer could probably swing this game. Maybe 4 out of Orcs, but even then it's going to be tough. We've got a pretty big board presence. So here comes Birthday Escape. That deck is sweet. Like, they are just popping off with Gandalf. Letting that Gandalf stick and live there was pretty devastating for us. Potentially should have thought about that one. Now they're going to get to loot and deal damage to us. They'll get to copy that next spell. So the question will be, do they... Breaking of the Fellowship? They could snipe our 3/3. or Wizards Rockets here. I'm going to take 4 damage. If they do go for Breaking of the Fellowship and they use Saruman, they'll have to pay 2 mana both times for it, so there'll be 6 mana. It'd be interesting to see what line they go for. No, so they're going to copy Wizards Rockets. Okay, well that's good for us because they can't do that, use that until next turn. Yeah, now we don't get to loot because we don't have a looter, but we do get to just bash with the team here because this is sorcery. So I think we just need to ship with everyone here. We've got Barad-dûr, so we can activate the door here. But yeah, I think we just need to try and... So that's going to... Right, so Isolation's going to wreck us a fair bit here. Second from the top. So let's just... hold back here. And then ship with the rest of the team. They're going to block. We're going to get a treasure. And then I think we just have to say go here. Get 3 damage in. So I think Eomer of the Riddermark is probably the one card that can potentially win us this game. They're going to get to draw 2 cards this turn. So that... How many? 14. Maybe we actually go for the mill plan here with Pelagear Survivor. That actually might be an interesting way of trying to win this one. Getting on the defensive. Have to see how they play. If they break into the Fellowship Pelagear Survivor, that obviously doesn't really work. We'd probably rather just amass off Barad-dûr. But if they don't go for that line, then maybe there's merit in that. Opponent's got now 9 land as well, so this is going to be very tough. The Bath Song... Okay, so they're actually... They're going to draw even more cards here, so... They're going to go down to 10, and then next turn they draw 3 down to 7, we mill them. Or they get to put any number of cards from their graveyard into their library. Okay, yeah, we can't win this game now, actually. The Bath Song... Unless we mill them before the Bath Song is finished. They're at 10. I think that's the only way here that we could potentially do it. They're probably just going to kill Pelagear Survivor though, so... So Pelagear Survivor's shooting down the 1-1. Then what's next? They draw another card. I think that's too many cards. That's good for us. I think we win. I think we mill them out here. Because I think we go... They're going to have to draw 2 next turn. So we mill them for 3. And then we mill them for 3 next turn. And they... No, so they chose Gandalf. But I think they just die because they have to draw a card on the turn before this happens. And I think that they'll die that turn. Soothing of Smeagol, that will do it, I think. We mill them for 3. So Eomer of the Riddermark. Okay, so I think we cast Eomer first. And then we bash with the team here. Because we can't die. They're going to have to block. We get another blocker. They block there, they'll block Eomer. We put them to 7. And then we play Pelagear Survivor. They draw 2, 3. And we still just mill them next turn if they don't have a way to deal with the Survivor. So now I've got 2 potential avenues here. In that we're pressuring them with the the mill, but we're also pressuring them on the board. So they have to deal with the Survivor and the Eomer and the 3-3. So this is a pretty interesting game here. I think that there's a possibility that we win because they've only got 3 cards left. So if we untap with Pelagia, they're just dead. They can't draw any more cards, and we potentially kill them before this ticks over. So pretty interesting state of play here. Obviously, they could have many things in their hand which just win them the game. Like if they've got 2 removal spells and they can deal with Eomer and Pelagia, it's going to be tough for us, given that they've got Storm of Saruman. They'll get to loop everything back. Now they deal 1, take out the 1/1. Probably just to get the second spell triggered. Now, like maybe they've got like Fear Fire Foes or some creature. They need to deal with both of these threats as well. So Lash the Balrog. Oh, wow. Okay. It's pretty nice. Opponent's deck is really sweet. Like, this game's not over yet. I mean, it's pretty close, but there's a small chance that we could win. Saruman's, is decent here. I think we just attack with Bilbo here and get in. There's no point attacking because they just block. And they know we have Saruman because they put it back on top. But yeah, this is a wild game. I mean, we came pretty close here to milling them out. Oh, now they get to Saruman's trickery there. They've just got it all here. I mean, they've got so many cards in their hand and so much mana. Pretty awesome. And now they get to Bath Song. And they'll put everything back here. Like, they'll put all of their good spells back. And their deck will essentially just be gas. So, pretty tough for us to win. But they've got that whole library. I mean, like, you just put back Saruman's Trickery, Lash, Flame of Anor, Gandalf's Sanction. I mean, you could just put Gandalf's Sanction back and it would just kill us. But that's a little risky. I think, given you've got the Saruman's Trickery, you may actually just want to stack your deck and try and win this game from there. But also they're at 6, so maybe you can't necessarily afford to do that. I mean, the fact that you've taken down Saruman is probably sign enough that you can. Notice they're putting back everything. Okay. So now they've got 17 cards in their deck. They've kept all of the chaff and the weaker spells in their graveyard. Is Gandalf coming in here? So Gandalf is coming in. They haven't cast any spells, so they're going to try and find a second spell here, I think. And they're probably going to get it. I mean, their deck is just all spells at this point, so if they this deck is awesome. This is like the coolest Storm of Saruman deck I've seen. An amazing, amazing deck from the opponent. Pretty happy to lose to this one. We got very close. So Tom and have gone. Pretty funny. Do they have any other play? I think they'll have to because you wouldn't play a spell there unless you did. Yeah, okay. So Gandalf's Sanction, which is slightly weaker because... But I mean, they do get to just kill both our creatures. So I think this one is pretty over at this point. The ring's going to tempt. We don't have a way to Barad-dûr here either, so this one is going to be over. But pretty happy to go out that way. Still 1 and 2, so we can still bounce back, but we got very, very close to winning that game. Lorien revealed. So let's go ahead and just see what we hit here. Would have been great a couple of turns ago. Grishnak. So land. Grishnak would have been lethal a few turns ago. We would have probably won with Grishnak, but yeah, it's not going to be enough here. That's the game. Let's just scoop this one up. 1 and 2. Not coming back from that. They're just going to have way too much gas. And I'll see you on the next one. Alrighty, on to game number 4 here. And this hand's going to be a keeper. Bowmasters into Uruk-hai Berserker is nice. And I think we're probably just going to cycle this Oliphant. Given that, we want red for our red spells. And we've got One Ring Tempest card, so it's possible that we'll be able to get to the second one and get a looter going as well to prevent, you know, any downside of the additional lands. So let's go ahead and pass the turn here and just say go. Hope our opponent plays. Yeah, okay. So now we can just... Opponent's probably going to attack. And we can just Bowmasters here. Snipe one of them down and then trade our amass token for the other one. And now we have the little 1/1 sticking around and effectively trade for their cards. 4 Orcs is a really nice one here because we're going to get to hopefully use it next turn to snipe something down. We just need to draw an island at some point to get Arwen's Gift going and get Pellet Gear Survivor online. But yeah, I like this start from us. It's certainly been a better draw, and I mean, we've had pretty good draws this draft. It's more just been our opponents have had some great draws as well, and we obviously lost that really close game also. And if we had won that, we would be 2-1. So there's sort of like the small variances in draft where you can have good decks that, you know, don't do necessarily as well, and that's fine. So Herod Envelope's a nice one because now we can get the ring temps going on the second level, and we can actually just loot here. Probably going to loot away Pellet Gear Survivor. Not over a land. Sorry, not over a land though, because we can play Pellet Gear Survivor this turn, and it will give us an additional mana source for Arwen's Gift next turn. So now I've got 6 mana for spells, and we'll get a land drop. So we don't have 2 legendary creatures yet, so we're not going to be able to get the cheap Arwen's Gift, but depending on our draw, it's possible we can get... It's possible we'll be able to cast 2 spells next turn, which would be a really nice turn, obviously. So now cast into the fire, taking down there. And now I think we can just Arwen's Gift, but we want to use the Pellet Gear Survivor here. Cast that one, and we're going to keep both of these. Can't cast either of them, but Grishnak and Merildor are both very good, so happy with those, especially like Merildor can blink the Grishnak. So now next turn we'll have 5, 6, 7 mana. If we draw a land, we can actually cast Merildor and 4 Orcs, and that'll set up a pretty strong Grishnak the next turn, or we can just play Merildor and Grishnak if we also draw a land, and set up a bigger 4 Orcs the turn after. But yeah, we're certainly in a good spot in this game, and the deck is functioning sort of how we anticipated it would. Our opponent has discarded Gimlis. They're obviously looking for land here. Deceive the Messenger is interesting. It's not worth Grishnacking here, so we'll just go ahead and get Merildor online, and then next turn we can potentially 4 Orcs and Grishnak in the same turn. So, because yeah, we do have 7 mana, so we can do both of those in the one turn. We'll be able to actually... Grishnak will be huge because the army token we make will be very big. So Improvised Club taking down Merildor here is a little bit annoying. Opponent's got 4 cards in hand, but we've still got some powerful ones as well. And Deceive the Messenger is a nice one also here. So Aaron Rider of Gondor, that's just going to get taken down, I think, by 4 Orcs here. And they've pitched an Improvised Club. So we can't Merildor here. We can Oath of the Grey Host, though. So Oath's actually interesting because we kind of want to get this one going. So I think we do just want to play Oath and see what they play, because this enables us to... It enables us to... I mean, we can actually Deceive the Messenger now using the Inherent Envelope and block the Aaron Rider of Gondor as well. So that's actually a nice line. But yeah, we just want to get Oath online so that we start getting closer to the 1/1s, which are really going to help us close the game out. And I think here it's probably worth that little tempo hit to get there. So now they've got an Erkenbrand Lord of Westfold. And I think we're just going to Deceive here. targeting the Aaron Rider, and effectively trade Deceive the Messenger for Aaron Rider of Gondor because they're going to 1-2. We'll double block, and they will kill it here. And then we'll Grishnak, Amass, and then 4 Avorks, and snipe down the Erkenbrand here. So we're going to keep the land because we want to potentially loot it if we get a Ring Temps at some point. We don't get to steal anything with Grishnak here, but now we get to 4 Avorks and snipe down the Erkenbrand. And now we have a 4-4. We're getting 3-1-1 flyers next turn, and we're set up in a pretty nice spot. And if we ever get another Ring Temps us going, we're going to be in a really, really good spot here. So not sure what the opponent necessarily has in hand here, but another Aaron Rider of Gondor. So I think they're probably trying to save these Aaron Riders for when they actually finally do have a legend. It just hasn't really worked out for them. And now another rally, yeah. So I think they're probably trying to set up a turn where they could like do this. If they had Erkenbrand, it would be pretty nice. But now I think we can just attack with the army pretty easily here. They can double block if they want. Or they can just chump. I'm absolutely happy with them chumping here. And we'll just say go. Got good blocks as well in that like we can trade Peligir Survivor here for Aaron Rider of Gondor. I've got no issue. And then Barrel Door obviously we'll get something out of that as well. So now opponent's going to get some first strike in here. I think we actually just want to take this hit here. And we can just sack the food here. Sacrificing the food. And now we can actually activate Barrel Door for 1 as well. Yeah, so we don't have to use our treasure to do this, and we just get to add on here. Wow, okay, so Lorien Revealed is fantastic. Let's just go ahead and start by casting that. Just drawing the cards is just going to be so useful for us here. And now I've got a Great Hall of the Citadel, which is probably worth playing here. And then just bashing with everyone except for Grishnak. I think we just want to block with Grishnak and then Nasty End to draw another 3 cards. And yeah, I think this game's pretty much sewed up at this point. We can play a Horn of the Dead Marshes as well to get that out there. Put that on the bottom. And we're just really going through most of our deck at this point, drawing all our spells and really putting the pain on the opponent here. So yeah, I think this is probably GG. Okay, so now they're going to exile our Amass. So we'll just sacrifice it instead and draw 2. Keep Grishnak around because he's useful to get back Horn of the Dead Marshes. And now I've got a Vanguard and a Glorious Gale. So I think if we didn't have the game locked up before, we almost certainly do now. I think we can just play out a land here and attack with all of our flyers. And just slowly whittle the opponent down here. We're in no rush at all. Glorious Gale can come down. Vanguard's going to come down this turn. And if they attack, we can just double block. And then we'll get to a Barrel Door. So it's going to be pretty tough for the opponent, I think, to come back in this spot. No attacks from opponent. We can just mill them, actually. Yeah, I think we just mill. To start that alternate line, just in case, I don't know, something happens, but probably worth milling there. Oh, now Eomer of the Riddermark. That's just going to slam the game shut. We can just bash with everyone now. No point hiding. We'll just swing out. If they want to block a 1-1, they absolutely can. Looks like they've got removal here. Improvised Club. Okay. So they managed to take out Eomer, but now they're just going to die here. And we can also just Barrel Door for 1. Sacrificing our treasure. Actually, no, we don't want to do that. We want to just say go. We've got the Glorious Gale. We don't need to make a 1-1 there. And they got a Swarming of Moria, but yeah, it's not going to be enough at this point. Opponent says writing on the wall, get the win, and I'll see you on the next one. Alrighty, back for game number 5, and this hand is a pretty nice one here. I'm going to go ahead and keep this. Got Haunt to start things off. Get to scry away this island here, given we're going to be drawing so many cards. And then we can go Pelagia Survivor and then double Birthday Escape the turn after. So that's going to be a nice little curve. We're going to get a loot up very quickly and start filtering through our deck to look for what we need to try and win the specific matchup. So obviously Orcish Bowmasters now would be very nice. But instead we're going to actually get to cast Bilbo Retired Burglar. So get to put that on the Haunt here. And then I think we actually just want to put it on Bilbo. Although actually no, we keep it on Haunt this turn and the next turn we'll Birthday Escape for Bilbo. So now we can pitch an island. And next time we can still Birthday Escape and hold up Glorious Gale. We're also going to get treasures for more mana, so we need land less than previously. But this is a really nice curve. I mean, Haunt, Pelagia Survivor, Bilbo, Birthday Escape, Glorious Gale. It's pretty nice, and Barrel Door can come in untapped as well. So in a good spot, this is certainly a good start, and having the looters is going to be a big help here. Also, if they do manage to kill Bilbo, we will get to the last level of the ring, which is useful. But now, opponent's actually gone and Horn of Gondored us. So we're actually in a little bit of trouble here. I'm going to have to get in here with Bilbo. I think we just pitch the island. Going to get in and get a treasure. And then we can just inherit an envelope. And we're going to have to hope that this is enough. But I really don't think it's going to be, because Horn of Gondor is a busted card. We probably can't beat this. With as good of a draw as we've had, it's going to be very, very tough. They just... Oh. So they've actually made a mistake here, because they should not have Urkin branded. They should just tap the Horn of Gondor. If you have the Horn of Gondor on the battlefield, tap the Horn of Gondor. It's simple. Now they're attacking with Took Reaper as well, which is another mistake. We get to snap block, and they get the ring tempts them. And now they have one less human as well, which... Sorry, oh no, Took Reaper's a halfling. So that's actually fine for them. But still, I think they're potentially not worth the trade-off. So now we get to go... I think we want to attack with both here. We've got 6 mana, so we can cast Oliphant. I'm just going to pitch the Easterling Vanguard. Now, it's actually a pretty interesting decision. We can... So the fact they didn't block there indicates to me they don't have another human. So we're going to go ahead and just snipe down their human here. And this is really why you want to just get this thing going, because now we've turned it off. We've turned the Horn off, and the opponent has to get another creature down before they can actually start activating the Horn. And if they had just activated it the last turn, then they would have had another human, and we wouldn't have been able to take them both out. The Horn still would have been active. Now, they're white-red, so they're probably going to have more humans. Case in point. But it does give us a little bit of an opportunity to sneak in here and look for something that can keep picking off humans and stop this Horn of Gondor from just dominating the game. At turn now, just going to go ahead and bash in with Bilbo now that they have the blocker. Menel'dor is a nice one because it can blink Orcish Bowmasters. They're getting low on life pretty quickly though, and so I think Oliphant is probably going to be better here. So yeah, let's just go ahead and play Oliphant. I think there's an argument to playing Menel'dor in that it'll allow us to ping the 1/1s that this creates, but it's only making 1 this turn, and so I think that getting the 6/4 that's also going to make another creature a trampler is more important, and now they've played a 5/4, and I'm pretty happy we did that. So Steward of Gondor of Osgiliath is coming in. We will snap block with Haunt. a 1/1 army in Pelagia here. Although they do get the amass. So actually I think we don't do that. We just pass. Ping them for 1. And yeah, no blocks now. We'll just take the damage here. And then I think we just swing out. And that's probably the game. So let's just go ahead and swing. And put the +2/+2 on Bilbo. And yeah, they've seen the writing on the wall. Managing to win a game through Horn of Gondor, that is not something you see very often. So if you're still here, smash that like button for that win. That was a sweet one. And make sure you subscribe as well. And I'll see you in the next game. Alrighty. Back for game number 6 here. This hand's a keep as well. Not the greatest given we don't have the swamp for Oath of the Grey Host, but we've got a few turns to draw it. It's made a whole lot better now by the fact that we have Lorien revealed here. So I was going to say we can cast it on turn 4, but Stern Scott is going to take care of Pelagia Survivor there. Now they've got their own Pelagia Survivor. And it actually might seem a little bit counterproductive, but we are going to just smite the Deathless this thing. If they are in blue-red, it is possible to have very few creatures, and so it's worth doing that there. And also just excuse me for the alarm just before, but now, yeah, like they're going to have to island cycle the Lorien revealed, which is great for us. And we can just go to our next turn. Again, we're going to have to pass here. I think, like, if they play something we want to snipe down with 4 Air Orcs, it's going to be worth island cycling the Lorien revealed. But otherwise, like, it is really worth just getting the full 3 cards off of this thing. So we will. Now there's actually an interesting question. I think we just Birthday Escape here. I think the first ring is fine. And now we just pass again. A little bit awkward. It would have been really nice to hit 1 land in our first 5 cards here, but we're not exactly getting tempoed out of the game. Opponent's got 5 mana. Saruman the white here. It's a pretty nice one. I think we just let that one resolve. The question is, do we island cycle? I think the answer is going to be no. We don't. There's an island. Okay, so that's good. Because now we can 4 have orcs. And then at the very least, we can improvise club next turn, which I think is pretty decent here. Our other options to just deceive and then improvise club next turn. If we had 1 more land, that would be a pretty nice turn. And like you could deceive, improvise club, and then do it. And that's actually, I think, a reason to just 4A here. We get the 2/2. We get to snipe down the 1/1. It's not the greatest turn, not the greatest 4A Orcs of all time, but I think we've just got to start getting some stuff down. And maybe there's an argument that actually just playing Menel'dor. I think actually that might have just been better, but the opponent's going to Arwen's Gift now, and they'll probably have a second spell as well, so they'll get some advantage out of Saruman here. I think it would be unlikely they don't. Yeah, so they're going to get to amass 3 now. We're not going to block. Now I've got the land, so now we can improvise club here. So I think we want to just attack first. Thought they may block there, but now we get to improvise club the Saruman, sack the 2/2, pay the 2 ward, and then we can hold up Deceive the Messenger. You know, which isn't going to be the greatest here, but it'll be better next turn, actually, when we get to just Menel'dor and then Deceive and hopefully eat the 3/3. Opponent's still got 5 cards in hand as well, so they're going to have some serious beef in there. The Bath Song is not what we want to see. I mean, that is just one of the better cards in the set. It's just so efficient at drawing you cards. You get to see 4 cards effectively, and over the 2 turns, you know, you're going to see 5, and you just have so much card selection. It's going to be tough to win, and I think they probably... Yeah, so this is probably just game now. Like, fall of Kar Andros here is absolutely ridiculous. They can just deal 7 damage to our Metal Door now. And then they get to amass 4. So, yeah, I think this is probably going to be done. This card is absolutely busted against like a slow, dirtily draw card deck like ours. It just takes over the game. We don't have a way to interact with it. And yeah, the opponents, they're just going to start killing our creatures now. So they get to deal 7. It deals 4. They amass now. Now they have a 7/7. So we're going to need to just deceive here and chump. But we're really just delaying the inevitable now. Let's just see what we draw off Lorien Revealed here. I've got the Horn of the Dead Marshes to chump, but I get the feeling it's not going to be enough. Can Haunt, and now we Barrel Door and Haunt. Nasty End. Probably worth keeping on top here. But yeah, I mean, they're still just going to... Oh, we're just dead, actually. No. Good game. The opponent just... Fall of Kar Andros's, the Haunt there. This becomes a 13-13, and they take down the win. So good game to the opponent. 3-3 with this deck. I think that's probably about the result it deserves. It was a little bit of an adventurous draft and deck, but I think it was pretty sweet, and we had some pretty awesome games. Beating a Horn of Gondor is not something you do very often, and I think we also managed to have a really close game where we almost milled out that ridiculous deck with the Pelagear Survivor. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and as I said before, if you did enjoy it, please be sure to give us a like and subscribe for more content in the future, and I'll see you in the next one.